Aloha. So with all the talk that's been going on with the Capitol riots, I wanted to find out if any changes had been made in the major political parties because of those riots. And I discovered that there were a lot of people who changed their affiliation from Republican to Independent. So basically, what that means is that when you go to register to vote, in certain states, you can mark yourself as Republican, Democrat, or Independent. So you register to vote by either going to your DMV or your state website or wherever. But you can also change your affiliation even when you're not registering to vote. And that's kind of how political parties measure their amount of support. So this past year, right after the Capitol riots, there were a large group of people who changed their political affiliation and dropped their affiliation as Republican, basically. So this isn't anything that's completely unusual, and it usually does happen after big elections. People change their minds or they update their information or whatever. But there were larger than numbers of people who changed their party affiliation this year than normal. So just for a little bit of perspective, 79,000 Democrats changed their party affiliation, but 140,000, so almost double, the number of Republicans changed their party affiliation, which still is not a huge amount of people considering there were 159 million people who voted in the last election. However, some political scientists think that it may signal a bigger change in the way Americans vote and may affect the upcoming elections as well. So I think that this is something that's kind of important, this fluidity in between political parties. I think that labeling yourself as like one specific political party is kind of dangerous. And honestly, just having the two, I think is the two big major political parties is dangerous. And that we really kind of do need to be open to changing our opinions, maybe voting third party or voting for really who we think is best for the country and not be so stuck in this identify myself as this political party, so I'm only going to vote for this political party. I think as Americans, we need to be more, informed about the people who are running for political office, and then that needs to determine our vote instead of who we identify ourselves as. And so I think that this change that many people are going through with the Republican Party is something important that needs to happen, and that hopefully will lead to a little more open discussion within our country as people are becoming more open to different political ideas. One more thing that I found that was super interesting is that there are many people who dropped out of the Republican Party because of they didn't support Trump, obviously, and the decisions that he made, but there were also a large amount of people who dropped out of the Republican Party because they thought that the Republican Party didn't do enough to support Trump. So it'll be really interesting the next couple of elections that come out to see if this is a trend that will continue or if it will even itself out kind of like it has in the past.